Hello guys, this is Tommy here and welcome back to my YouTube channel. Today right now we are starting off with Phase 7 of TMCU, and of course so anyway guys, without further ado, let's begin. Now the first project in Phase 7 is titled World War Hulk. So in this project, Bruce Banner is now back in his Hulk form and is banished to the planet Sakaar as he runs into his son Scar and the Sakaran peoples there. Now, basically, although they are all mad at him for leaving because now Scar has, taken over as Sakar's new leader, and wants revenge against Bruce as he believes that the latter has abandoned him, although Bruce decides to stay on Sakaar, which leaves Scar and his allies mad. Now, throughout the next few years, Bruce spends his time as he's able to fully control himself and his powers and becomes more powerful after many attempts to combine all of his Hulk personalities to form World Breaker Hulk, which he succeeds at. However, Scar wants to kill his father and argues with everyone over this, as Scar joins forces with many of his allies such as Omaka, Yenrog, X-Men Bows, many more, although he defeats all of them in a big fight that leaves Sakaar into a wasteland. Now basically he returns to Earth as he swears revenge on the Illuminati, and many other heroes are defeated by Hulk until Doctor Strange and the Illuminati arrive and confront him. However, Bruce has a strong hatred of Earth and plans to kill all of his enemies and rule the planet. He ends up enslaving the Illuminati and into Madison Square Garden, although Doctor Strange has not been captured, and tries to warn many of Earth's heroes about the situation, while the Mole Man, who's now gotten out of prison, sends the Moloids and a large army of creatures from Sakaar to attack the Hulk, although they are all killed. However, the leader, meanwhile, is the big bad here as he forms the Gamma Corps, an organization formed as a part of the leader's master plan to turn all humans into Gamma mutated Hulks by stealing supplies from Weapon X. Strange goes to New Asgard and contacts everyone there and wants to work with them to stop the Hulk. So James Rhodes the president declares the leader and the Gamma Corps all fugitives, while also trying to stop the Hulk from causing more havoc. Hulk temporarily transforms into his human form and forms a team made up of Betty Ross, Jennifer Walters, and Emil Blonsky as they encounter a young Korean scientist named Amadeus Cho, who was the son of Helen Cho, and of course, right now, they all work together, and Scar arrives and fights Bruce and his team, which allows for the Illuminati to escape, although the Wolverine arrive and fights Hulk as everyone escapes after Old Sam, Bybeast, Elo Cafe, and Lavinsky are all killed. James Rhodes sends Harley Keener, Riri Williams, Pepper Potts, Frank Castle, and Sentry to confront the Gamma Corps in the big final battle, although Bruce and his team and Team New Asgard fight Wolverine and the Illuminati, and basically this is this all-out war as Betty is killed, which leaves Bruce devastated and makes him realize that all of this has been the leader all along controlling him as he joins forces with everyone to take down the Gamma Corps. Now in the end, the leader and the Gamma Corps are all defeated as Bruce reconciles with his son, who later returns to Sakaar in a very emotional scene. Now Bruce decides to cure himself of the Hulk permanently and lives in Mexico for the rest of his life, while James Rhodes questions Wolverine of his mutant status, as it turns out that he returns all the Weapon X products to the government, while the Illuminati disband and Doctor Strange searches for Bruce. Now this cast is quite a big one, as we have Bruce Banner, Betty Ross, Jennifer Walters, and Emil Blonsky all returning in their respective roles. Ian Chen plays Amadeus Cho, while Ryan Potter plays Scar. Jonathan Banks, Emilio Estevez, Christina Masterson, and Luke Goss all play their respective roles as Old Sam, Bybeast, Elo Cafe, and Lavinsky. Don Cheadle, Gwyneth Paltrow, Ty Simpkins, John Bernthal, Dominique Thorne, Mary Elizabeth, Yul Brynner, Chris Hemsworth, India Rose, Tessa Thompson, and Taika Waititi all return their respective roles, while Dave Corey plays Dwayne, and also Miek, Betty Ray Bill, and Dr. Stephen Strange all return in their respective roles as well. So we also have Tim Blake Nelson return as the leader, Robert John Burke plays General John Riker, Michael Ealy plays Lieutenant Brian Talbot, also known as Gray, Barry Pepper plays Flux, Fred Tatasciore plays the Devil Hulk, Hugh Dancy plays the Immortal Hulk, Josh Duhamel plays Dr. Green, Jesse Birch plays Weapon X, Eric Bana plays Maestro, Diesel La Torreca plays Prodigy, Stacey Farber plays Omaka, Darren Criss plays Yanrog, and also we got Axon Bose among the Inconceivable, Van Kiera, and Hiro Kala. All the Illuminati members return their respective roles. Anthony Starr, returns as Robert Reynolds, aka the Sentry. Taron Egerton plays Wolverine, and also the native species of Sakaar is included, while Mole Man is played by Jack Black, and of course Tori DeVito plays General John Riker's wife, Lucy Riker. Now, in the mid-credit scene, William Stryker is revealed to be the leader of the Weapon X project, as he's very associated with the US government and wants to find Wolverine, who is currently on the island nation known as Madripoor. Now, in the post-credit scene, Wong is currently watching The Sopranos at Carmitage, although Emil Blonsky shows up at the door and apologizes to Wong about his betrayal, although Wong closes the door on him before having a vision of the evil Nightmare, who is the ruler of the Dream Dimension. Now, there are many deaths in this project, and this project has the most deaths in TMCU history. So, yeah, I'll give you guys some time to read it. Now, the second project is titled X-Men Wolverine. Now, the movie starts off in 1885, where we are introduced to a 13-year-old boy named James Hallett, who is living in Alberta, Canada, until his parents are killed by a creature known as the Wendigo, which makes Wolverine very mad about the situation, as his powers begin to manifest, and he uses his claws to kill the creature. Now, throughout the years, Wolverine moves to the US and ends up in an orphanage as a child, as he meets the mutant known as Sabretooth, and they become besties. He fights in the Civil War, World War I, and World War II. Now, in 1942, Wolverine and Sabretooth are still besties, and are working together on a mission as they rescue Winston Churchill from the evil German soldier known as Masterman, as they begin working for Churchill and form the Invaders team, and they help the Allied powers defeat the evil Super Axis supervillain team and many other Axis soldiers. Now, during the Vietnam War, Wolverine is still serving America along with Sabretooth, as they are recruited into Weapon X, which is a mysterious government project that collects adamantium and detects, then uses mutants as living weapons for the country. Now, members consist of John Wraith, Maverick, Omega Red, Agent Zero, and Blob, and after being experimented on, he gains his famous classic suit and names himself Wolverine, although he leaves in 1975 due to the team's cruel acts, as he decides to run away and start a new life for himself. Now, in the present day, Wolverine is living in Madripoor under the identity of Patch, as he now has a girlfriend named Kayla Silverfox, who used to work for William Stryker and is good friends with a mutant known as Gambit, until everything changes when the Hellfire Club, which is a top secret and wealthy mutant organization bent on world domination, arrive on Madripoor and try to conquer the nation, although Wolverine works with Kayla and Gambit to fight the group off, although he's quote-unquote saved by Agent Zero, although Wolverine realizes that this is a trap set up by Stryker and Sabretooth in order for Wolverine to have his memories erased and rejoin Weapon X, although he escapes and meets with John Wraith and Fred Dukes, who has become obese, and John is trying to help him lose weight. As the latter fights Wolverine and he is killed. Despite Blob's death, Wraith decides to help Wolverine as they try to recruit Chris Bradley, although they find him dead at his home and blame this on Sabretooth. The duo team up with Omega Red, Kayla Silverfox, and Gambit against Stryker and his men, as Wolverine kills Agent Zero on a helicopter, while Kayla kills Stryker and Dr. Abraham Cornelius, as Sabretooth tries to defeat the group but fails to, although tells Wolverine that he shouldn't have been working for Stryker, before telling him that he is sorry as he leaves to an unknown destination. In the end, Wolverine parts ways with Omega Red, who goes back to Russia, as Wolverine also parts ways with Kayla Silverfox and John Wraith, while the Hellfire Club take over Madripoor, and Wolverine returns to the location of the X-Men team, known as the X-Mansion, and Professor X accepts him and Gambit join the X-Men team. So Taron Egerton returns as the Wolverine, Keenan Lonsdale plays Kestrel, Ashley Kollenberg plays Kayla Silverfox, Yuri Kolnikov plays Omega Red, Austin Butler plays Gambit, and for the Invaders we got Sam Claflin returning as Human Torch, Emilio Osorio playing sidekick Toro, Jared Padalecki plays Union Jack, Imogen Poots plays Spitfire, Sebastian Stan and Tanaka Cueta return their respective roles as Bucky and Namor, and for the others we got Ewan McGregor as Professor X, John Lithgow as Winston Churchill, Bill Nighy as Phineas Horton, Wolverine's mother Elizabeth Howlett, I forgot who plays her, but whatever, Peter O'Brien plays John Howlett, and for the villains, we got Matthew Modine as Colonel William Stryker, Tobin Bell as Abraham Cornelius, Pablo Schreiber as Sabretooth, Devin Rattray as Blob, Brady Corbett as Chris Bradley, Daniel Henney as Agent Zero. Super Access team consists of Tom Wallace-China as Masterman, Tom Ellis as Baron Blood, Rachel Riley as Baroness Blood, and Aramiri Kasumi as Lady Lotus. Now for the Hellfire Club, we got Javier Bardem as Sebastian Shaw, Jodie Comer as Emma Frost, Casper Philipson as Harry Leland, Aidan Gillen as Mastermind, Darren Barney as Shinobi Shaw, Tom Madden as Riptide, Vanessa Hudgens as Angel Salvador, and Iwan Mitchell as Azazel, and the Wendigo is also included as well. Now, after parting ways with Wolverine and his allies, Sabretooth is now returned to Alberta as he walks in the same forest where the Wendigo killed Wolverine's parents. Now, in the post-credit scene, Wade Wilson, aka Deadpool, breaks the fourth wall and explains that She-Hulk was right about Deadpool and Wolverine coming to TMCU before announcing that he's getting his own movie titled X-Men Deadpool. So this is the full death list for every character who dies in X-Men Wolverine. Now, the third project is titled Doctor Strange: A World of Dreams. So the project opens up with Doctor Strange as a young boy, and he's playing with on an icy lake with his sister Donna until she drowns, and Steven tries to save her, although he sees a mysterious demon and wakes up from this quote-unquote nightmare that he had. He ends up being traumatized over this, although he tries to move on as he trains Jericho, Rintra, and many other students with assistance from Kalu and Wong. The former Kalu begins to notice that something's off with Strange when he realizes that he's panicking, which makes him curious as he asks Strange if it has anything to do with his third eye situation, which of course he got after using the Darkhold in Doctor Strange 2, although Strange says it is not, and he feels forced to reveal that he has been having nightmares of a lot of traumatic events that he has went through for the past few days before Kalu warns Strange of how bad this could potentially be. Meanwhile, Wong gets a knock on his door after watching The Sopranos, and it's Emil Blonsky who apologizes to him for his betrayal, although Wong instead shuts the door on him and has visions of nightmare before waking up from this nightmare of his that he had, and he now realizes that Kamar-Taj and the entire world are in severe danger. So basically, of course, this is a cliffhanger from the World War Hulk post-credit scene. Now anyway, Kalu explains to Strange and Wong that the nightmares that both of them are having aren't just a coincidence, but are caused by the evil demon known as Nightmare, who is the ruler of the Dream Dimension, which is a realm within the ancestral plane, as he feeds on the fears of humans in their dreams by invading their minds and manipulating their dreams. The trio join forces with Jericho, Rintra, and the Abomination and seek out help from Dr. Anthony Druid, a medieval sorcerer who was once the Sorcerer Supreme until he lost all his powers after a fight with Nightmare, and he's also an old friend of Kalu, who was also a medieval sorcerer, as the latter gains his powers by Strange, and he guides them to Club Fear in New Orleans, which is run by Nightmare, going under the identity of Edvard Haberdash. A fight ensues, and the group are almost killed until they are rescued by Clea. Strange is mad at Clea for killing Dormammu, although Clea explains she had to in order to prevent the two from becoming evil again. We are also introduced to the Sleepwalkers, who are a race of beings who reside in the realm known as the Mindscape, which is in the positive zone, and protect the sleeping minds of humans while they are dreaming, through their use of dreamwalking, and they are tricked by their enemy Cobweb into invading the minds of college student Richard Sheridan, who resides in New York, as the Sleepwalkers reveal to the main group that Nightmare does what he does to humans in order to distract them from his true plans, which is to create nightmares which help him to gain powers and eventually merge the dream world with Earth and conquer it But things get worse and Cobweb attacks the Sleepwalkers, and it is revealed that he is working with Nightmare and was sent to kill Strange and his allies, with Nightmare invading Strange's mind while he's sleeping the next day and wants him to suffer by giving him nightmares of the consequences of his actions and having to deal with his sister's death. Strange joins forces with Wong, Abomination, Jericho, Rentra, Kalu, Druid, Clea, the Mindless Ones, Richard Sheridan, and the Sleepwalkers, although Nightmare is too powerful, but luckily Strange has visions of his past and ancient sorcerers as he uses and gains their powers to help defeat Nightmare, although Wong sacrifices himself to ensure that Strange defeats Nightmare once and for all. Nightmare does not die, but instead he's banished to hell for all of eternity, which can allow all humans to dream peacefully without having any nightmares whatsoever, since Nightmare once controlled all the nightmares. Now, after Wong's death, Strange and his allies have a funeral for Wong as they mourn his death before Strange kisses Clea and announces her as the new Sorcerer Supreme. So, yeah. So, by the way, guys, this is the full cast for Doctor Strange: A World of Dreams. So, in New York City, in the mid-credit scene, Strange, Clea, and Abomination notice an empty spot near the Sanctum Sanctorum as Strange uses his now highly advanced powers in order to build a statue there in honor of Wong and his sacrifice. Now, in the post-credit scene, we then cut to Hell, which is a realm within the ancestral plane, and it is revealed that Nightmare was working for the devil, aka Mephisto, as the latter betrays Nightmare and tells him that he is the reason that he will not achieve his goal of ruling over the living and the dead. So there aren't really that many deaths in this film, as Doctor Strange's sister Donna, Master Wong, Nightmare's demonic dream force, which is the main army, and Cobweb all die in this film. Now, the fourth project of Chapter 7 is titled, Phase 7, is titled Inhumans Evolution. So the movie takes place after the events of World War Hulk, as Black Bolt and Medusa are now getting married, as the entire Inhumans team, Kamala Khan, and many others attend while celebrating on New Adelan, the new nation and the Inhumans formed during the events of the Illuminati as they also mourn over Maximus's death. Now, meanwhile, the Terrigen Mist have continued to spread all over the planet through the Terrigenesis weapon, even since Maximus started this outbreak, with it continue as many people who are being infected with the Terrigen Mist, now known as New Humans, which are human-inhuman hybrids and also the next step of inhuman evolution, with the inhuman population of Earth about 40,000, and the new human population about the same as well, due to the outbreak spreading. Now, while the New Adelon continues to be a safe nation for all Inhumans and New Humans, however, there were still Inhumans who were left behind on the moon after the events of the Illuminati, like Maelstrom, who was trying to find his way to Earth with his group of minions after they were accidentally left behind, which reminds him of something similar that happened with his father Fader, an inhuman scientist who used cloning to try to increase the inhuman population, although it didn't work, and he was banished, which led him maiden with a deviant named Morga, as they would eventually have a child named Maelstrom, although he died after trying to return, although Maelstrom survived, but his parents did not. We are introduced to Andrew Gardner, aka Lash, and his tribe, a group of Inhumans from the city of Orlon on New Adelan, as they try to lure Dante Peruse, aka Inferner, and his sister Gabriella, and a group of New Humans to join their tribe, although Medusa, Gorgon, and Karnak defeat the tribe as they then escape. Besides all these characters and stories, the big focus is Herbert Wyndham, aka the High Evolutionary, a scientist who was expelled from Oxford University as a young man for his actions as he worked with Jonathan Drew and Miriam Drew in order to help evolve the entire universe into the perfect race, although the parents died after a conflict with Agatha Harkness and her coven, although Herbert did turn Jonathan's daughter Jessica Drew into Spider-Woman successfully. Maelstrom runs into the High Evolutionary as he has gathered all the remaining Inhumans on the moon as they plan to work together after it is revealed that Fader gave Herbert the genetic code for his experiments, which created the new men, the perfect race that the High Evolutionary envisions. Once Maelstrom arrives on Earth, the Inhumans and New Humans confront him and the High Evolutionary as they are shocked to learn about the two's plans until Lash and his tribe arrive in order to instigate another conflict, although Black Bolt kills the entire tribe, as the High Evolutionary then reveals the Terrigen used by the Kree was invented by them, and so is the terrigenesis used by the Kree, and so is the primogen. As an advanced race known as the progenitors created the Kree a long time ago, as the Inhumans had to feed them. And the big final battle ensues on New Adelon, as many people are killed on both sides, and in the end, the High Evolutionaries forced are defeated, although not killed, as the Inhumans and their allies later celebrate the birth of Black Bolt and Medusa's son Ahura, as they also prepare to embrace a new generation of Inhumans in the future. Now, by the way, guys, this is the full cast for Inhumans Evolution. So basically, of course, this is the full cast right here. So, yeah. Don't mind the noises in the background, but it's fine. It's a pretty long cast, but whatever. Now, in the mid-credit scene, it is revealed the High Evolutionary is actually inspired by the evil and mysterious scientist Nathaniel Essex, aka Mr. Sinister, as they plan on continuing their mission to create a quote-unquote perfect mutant race. Now, in the post-credit scene, we then cut to New York City, where Jessica Drew has now become Spider-Woman as she runs into Peter Parker, and they begin their search for Kingpin and his men. Now, by the way, guys, this is the full death list for the film, and yeah, I'll give you guys some time to read it, by the way. Sorry about that, guys, but anyway, this is the 5th project, as we are now halfway through Phase 7 of TMCU, with this project being titled Chapter 5, Daredevil, the Man Without Fear, Season 2. Now, this is a tease of what the plot is going to look like all throughout Season 2. Episode 1 is titled Return to the Past, and believing Fisk to be arrested, Matt Murdock continues protecting Hell's Kitchen as Daredevil, although Foggy and Karen want him to focus more on his job instead of superhero activities, although Daredevil instead confronts Turk Barrett and his partner Ellie Gordo at a bar as Turk then reveals that there's a huge power vacuum in the criminal underworld because of Fisk now being a fugitive, as Man the Punisher killed Gordo and many of his men. Meanwhile, Fisk is taking control of the Maji, with his new headquarters now in New York City, as Janice Lincoln, Tombstone, and Hammerhead are members of it, although the CIA and FBI are still after the Magia. So episode 2 is titled A Path to Choose, and basically Daredevil gathers his allies as they discuss more about the power vacuum that is happening in New York City, as Turk Bear's on the run reports Gordo's death to Fisk, which leaves him very mad, and as they investigate this, Daredevil and the Punisher meet with FBI agents Ray Nadeem and Benjamin Poindexter to find out more info about all of these other crime organizations in the city, and while Daredevil helps Marion James and many FBI agents hunt down Kingpin, Fisk meets with the 5 Boroughs Crime Council as they plan on forming a group of supervillains in order to hunt down Daredevil and his allies, while the FBI arrive and arrest Fisk. So episode 3 is titled Violence is the only answer, and Fisk manipulates many FBI agents, including Marion James, to let him go in exchange for more info on other crime organizations. Now Turk is in the hospital and is confronted by Daredevil and Foggy once more, and although Claire tries not to get involved, she doesn't find out that Turk was shot by Fisk as he was planning to sell weapons to the Punisher in order to protect himself, although Turk then dies while on his deathbed. Ray Nadeem refuses to work with Fisk, which leaves many of the FBI agents under Fisk annoyed, before Ray then asks Karen Page, Madani, and the Punisher for help. So in episode 4, Maya Lopez and the Traxxas Mafia are sent by Fisk to hunt down Daredevil, along with many members of the Anti-Vigilante Task Force, as they are instead arrested by the NYPD, but bailed out by Fisk. And also, Bullseye joins the task force under the codename of Bullseye. Stick and Elektra find many members of the Hand and Yakuza crime organizations along with their allies as an ensuing war continues between the opposing sides. This gets to Fisk's attention after he's told of this by Madame Gao, and yeah. Now, episode 5. In the past, we learned that Bullseye had issues with his parents and growing up, and same with Typhoid Mary, a mutant assassin who is mentally ill. Basically, right now, this is the plot for episode 5, which is titled Many Feared Men. So episode 6 is titled Red and Black, and this of course is the main plot right here, as you guys can all see. Episode 7 is titled Beggars Keepers, and yeah, basically focusing on the Marvel's Knights team escaping from the Traxxas Mafia and investigating Roscoe Sweeney and his boss Alexandra Bond, who was once the original Kingpin. Ends off with Lady Bullseye, and Bullseye meet with Madame Gao and many other Hand/Yakuza members as they kill many of Stick's men before heading back to New York City. Episode 8, which is titled Target from Away, focuses on the Marvel Knights continue fighting many Hand and Yakuza members as many members and associates of Fisk's security detail arrive, although they are all killed, which leaves Fisk mad as he watches video of this sent by his wife Vanessa and her bodyguard Francis, which Lady Bullseye, and Madame Gao meet with Fisk and many of his employers as they now realize that the Marvel Knights are the biggest threat to the anti-vigilante task force, as Kilgrave starts to influence men through his mind control influence Fisk's men through his mind control abilities in order to help Fisk track down Daredevil and his allies. Now, while at home, Ray Nadim is killed by Bullseye under Fisk's orders, as his death is reported by the Daily Bugle news channel, but it says the killer is currently unknown, which suggests that Kingpin might be controlling the news and the media of New York City. Now, episode 9 is titled Always Breaking Hearts, as Ray Nadim's funeral happens and Daredevil's allies are greeted by Mackie Grace as they all mourn Ray's death, although they believe it to be positive a little bit and so that they can expose Fisk for good. Fisk is confronted by damage control as they cut ties with Fisk, which leaves him very mad, although Tammy Hatlett and her FBI agent continue operating, although FBI agent Wellers was working as a double agent, which leads to Fisk killing him after finding him as Tammy Hatlett's activities are exposed to NYPD. The Traxxas Mafia are revealed to still be searching for the Marvel Knights after their escape, although the Marvel Knights are instead greeted by Stick and Elektra, who've just returned by Japan in order to help them fight Kingpin and his men. Now, in the big finale, which is titled No More Vigilantes, Kingpin meets with the Five Boroughs Crime Council along with the Anti-Vigilante Task Force as he's guarded by Vanessa, Francis, Felix, as they discuss a lot of things such as Fisk's ultimate goal to become the mayor of New York City and rebuild it in his image by ending all crime for good. Basically, this is what happens in the rest of the episode, and sadly, Elektra and Cole North are killed. So by the end of the episode, of course, Bullseye redeems himself and kills Tammy Hatlett, and of course Elektra has a funeral and Kingpin increases his empire by officially becoming mayor of New York City. Madame Gao and Maxu Matsumo, both members of the Hand and many others, reanimate Elektra's corpse into a powerful entity that they worship known as the Black Sky. Now anyway guys, this is the full cast right here as Daredevil, a Punisher, we got the full cast right here. I'll give you guys some time to read it. Now I know it might be a long cast, but whatever. So in the mid-credit scene, Fisk is now the mayor of New York City and has control over the NYPD and many other small groups in the city, especially Hell's Kitchen, where he has the most control over, as he orders Spider-Man to be hunted down immediately. So in the post-credit scene, it is revealed that the Hand lives in the cat city of Kunlun, which is one of the 7 capital cities of heaven, as they also work with the 10 rings, with the ultimate goal of gaining immortality. Now, by the way, guys, it is the full death list for Daredevil, The Man Without Fear Season 2, so yeah. I'll give you guys some time to read it. Okay, very good right now. Alright, well, guys, anyway, now the 6th project in Phase 7 is titled Captain America: The Secret Empire. So the movie opens up in 1945 as it is revealed that the Red Skull stole Steve Rogers' blood while he was unconscious, as he later gave it to Arnim Zola and his daughter Cynthia Schmidt for a cloning experiment. Well, not really. In the present day, Sam Wilson continues as Captain America, as he now works with Joaquin Torres, Bucky Barnes, and many other heroes on multiple different occasions, and sometimes even the US government while trying to make peace with other superhero teams as well. Meanwhile, the Circus of Crime are revealed to be conducting quote-unquote cloning experiments for their boss, who is known as Number One, as they are still working with former members of Hydra, who are revealed to still be active, which leaves Sam and Joaquin shocked after learning of this from President James Rhodes. Due to this, Sam forms a team in order to hunt down the final remnants of Hydra and defeat them once and for all. Now, it is also revealed that AIM is still around and they are somehow associated with Hydra as well, although they are not involved with the real big threat, who is Captain Hydra. So he basically is a clone of Steve Rogers. However, though, this is to everyone's shock, as Hydra, AIM, the Circus of Crime, and the Hellfire Club, who are still ruling over Madripoor, obviously all work together as a part of a coalition known as the Secret Empire, with the goal of triggering a nuclear war between the US and Russia in order to take over it. There are also side plots including Namor and his new lover named Lady Dorma, who is the Queen of Talcon, and also the Inhumans as major threats to the Secret Empire as well. In the massive final battle, all the good guys fight the bad guys, as Sam also tries to convince Rhodes to not nuke Russia, which could lead to the end of the world as we all know it, and Rhodes doesn't do it after lots of convincing from Sam. In the end, there's a very emotional scene where Sam and Bucky try to convince Steve, although Bucky's forced to kill him because this isn't the real Steve, although all the bad guys are defeated, and Eli Bradley embraces his future as the Patriot, while Sam and Bucky continue as superheroes and have a greater focus when it comes to helping other people out as well. Now, by the way, guys, this is the full cast for Captain America: The Secret Empire, as you guys can see right here. So, yeah. I'll give you guys some time to read it. So, yeah. Alright, there it is. Now, in the mid-credit scene, after the deaths of some of the Hellfire Club members, John Wraith and Kayla Silverfox are still living in Madripoor as they search for Wolverine after learning that Mr. Sinister and the High Evolutionary are planning to create a quote-unquote perfect race. Oh yeah, I could just do that. Swipe or whatever. Anyway, Scott and Hope, who are still running the Lang Van Dyne Foundation, convince Cassie's mom, Maggie Lang, to let her be a superhero, and she agrees that Scott and Maggie make peace once and for all and remain as good friends, even though they are still divorced, sadly. Now, that's the post-credit scene, by the way. So there are a lot of deaths in this film, and by the way, guys, I'll give you guys some time to read it. And yeah. Now, the seventh project in Phase 7 is titled Shang-Chi: The Seven Capital Cities of Heaven. Now, the movie starts off 1 billion years ago in the capital city of Talo, a dimension hidden in Vanaheim, which is one of the 9 realms, of course, that connects to Earth through the country of China. This is visited by Fin Fang Foom and the Makluan race, who all hail from the alien planet known as Ranthara, as they hide 10 mystical rings, which they created on Ta Lo, where one we would eventually find it. In the present, in the future. But anyway, in the present day, Shang-Chi uses the 10 rings while also trying to deal with being a member of both Avengers teams, Avengers and West Coast Avengers, as he also investigates another mystery after receiving mysterious riddles and letters from the Iron Fist, who is a powerful person who is the guardian of Kunlun, one of the 7 capital cities of heaven. Shang-Chi, with help from best friend Katie and FBI agent Jimmy Woo, go to Ta Lo for more answers, as they are met by Ying Nan, who is now the new guardian of Ta Lo, as she explains to Shang-Chi that these letters aren't just a coincidence, but a new chapter in Shang-Chi's journey and destiny as a quote-unquote immortal weapon, which leaves the latter confused. Now, meanwhile, 10 Rings leader Xu Shiling meets with leader of the Hand, Madame Gao, as they discuss the illegal drug trade in New York City and the meeting between the 7 capital cities of heaven, as happens every 15 years, in order to eventually merge every 88 years to form the Heart of Heaven, so that a tournament can be held to choose a group of immortal weapons to defend each capital city for the rest of their lives. Now, the 10 rings in the hand are also both working together in order to manipulate the heart so that they can destroy the 7 capital cities as a part of their goal to gain unlimited power and immortality by eventually controlling all of Asia. Shang-Chi and his team realize that they need some allies for help, although the tournament has begun and Shang-Chi is forced to fight Iron Fist in order to become the guardian of Ta Lo, and he also wins the fight, although the two work together along with Iron Fist's allies, such as his apprentices and close friends including Misty Knight, Shen Kuai, and many agents a part of the MI6 organization, which was first introduced in Fury Return of Earth, obviously. Now, the group meet up with the immortal weapons as we learn more about the 7 capital cities of heaven that consist of Ta Lo, Kunlun, Kunzi, Tiger Island, Penglai, the Kingdom of Spiders, and Undercity, as they all come up with a master plan to defeat both the Ten Rings in the Hand, who now have full access to Extremis and see Shang-Chi as a traitor. So the big final battle happens as it is revealed the Ten Rings, are controlling Fin Fang Foom and attempt to destroy Ta Lo once and for all, although their plans are foiled when Iron Fist kills Xu Shilin, Shang-Chi kills Fin Fang Foom, destroys Extremis for good this time, and exiles the rest of the Makluans back to their home planet as both Iron Fist and Shang-Chi save all the 7 capitalists of heaven, and when all the fight ends, Razor Fist and John are taken into custody by the MI6 in response to Lego Wu's death. He's an agent of the MI6, obviously. Now, Ying-Nan becomes the new permanent guardian of Ta Lo, and Shang-Chi leaves the Avengers team to become the new leader of the Ten Rings with full support from his allies. Now, by the way, guys, he's still a good guy. Now, by the way, guys, this is the full cast for Shang-Chi, the 7 Capital Cities of Heaven. So, yeah, I'll give you guys some time to read it. Now, in the post-credits scene in Japan, Shang-Chi realizes that the Hand is still out there as he learns of their connection to the Yakuza somehow, and also finds Wolverine while at an airport there. Now, Leiko Wu, Xu Shilin, the Ghostmaker, Fin Fang Foom, and the Tiger Warrior, who does not appear in the film although mentioned, are the only characters who die in this film. Now, by the way, guys, since I don't have enough time to make the last 2 projects for Phase 7, there are 9 projects, although I am recording the first 7. However, the last 2 are titled Captain Marvel and the A-Force, which is Chapter 8, and the last one is the X-Men, which is titled Chapter 9. I will reveal them in the description. And yes, I will also reveal in the description below, and also post the full projects for on Monday at 12 p.m. So anyway, guys, peace out, and I hope you guys are excited for Phase 8, which is titled House of M, and we'll explore more of the Mutant Saga, which is the title for the 3rd saga and the penultimate saga of TMCU. Peace out now. Alright, well, anyway, guys, the 8th project is titled Captain Marvel and the A-Force. Alright, now the plot takes place after the events of the second Inhumans movie, as the Kree and Skrulls have now been making peace. Yes, the Kree have been making peace with their old enemies as they give their former colonies independence. The Kree-Skrull alliance is formed to protect both nations as everyone approves of this. However, there are still some evil Kree such as the Supreme Intelligence, who was temporarily deactivated by the new Emperor, as the latter has been reactivated by his followers, who want to overthrow the new Kree government and reform their old fascist empire after the deaths of General Eldon and Darben. Well, kind of. And they were working with them, by the way. Now, Hulkling, who's the only known Skrull on Earth right now, is attacked by the new Kree Accusers team, who are the main army of the Supreme Intelligence and his followers. So, yeah, they want to kill all the Skrulls and use all the powerful Negabomb and use the all-powerful Negabomb weapon to conquer Earth. So, in many organizations, such as Sword, Saber, NASA, etc., are extremely concerned about this as Hulkling being attacked, as they believe that the Kree and Skrulls are about to go to war again, and alert President Rhodes, although he doesn't believe them, while the agents of Sword Team find Hulkling, who's on the run, and they warn the Kree about this, although it turns out that a group of scientists has stayed on Earth since 1995, and are performing experiments on humans to create a larger army. The Kree and Skrulls meet with their allies as they discuss Operation Galactic Storm, a counterattack to defeat the Kree fascist movement and prevent them from going to war against the Shi'ar Empire. However, Captain Marvel, with help from her allies, forms the A-Force team, as Genus Vel and Phyla Vel are shocked about this, and they encourage Carol, shocked about the attack, of course, and encourage Carol and her team to request help from the Sovereign, although due to the deaths of Nick Fury and Adam Warlock, relations aren't that good. So yeah, Novar, aka Marvel Boy, leads the Kree army with his master, the Supreme Intelligence, while Carol and the A-Force use the Universal Neural Teleportation Network to visit Carol's former husband, Prince Yan of Aladnan, to request his help, although the Kree movement arrive and kill Prince Yan before destroying Aladna. This is shocking to everyone throughout the cosmos, as the Kree also had many conflicts in the past with many empires Inhumans did Din, Spartax, etc. And Kamala explains that after the final battle in 1995, the Kree accidentally returned the second quantum man to Earth, and she found it as a young girl, although her family told her to be very cautious with it for unknown reasons. Now we also learn more about the Kree Civil War and the restoration of Hala that has happened from 1995 to 2018, as Carol tried working with Quasar and many other galactic empires, although they made things worse. The final battle then ensues as the bad guys are defeated, and the Kree help keep the Negabomb for safety reasons and make peace with the Shi'ar. The A-Force go their own ways as Abigail Brand becomes the new director of S.H.I.E.L.D. as Quasar keeps the second Quantum Man while staying with the Kree along with Genus Vel and Phyla-Vel with the Kree and Skrull celebrating a better future, and while on Earth, Captain Marvel moves back to Louisiana and stays in contact with her allies. Now, by the way, guys, this is the full cast for Captain Marvel and the A-Force. By the way, don't mind the noise in the background, but whatever. Now, in the mid-credit scene, the Shi'ar Empire are revealed to have their own agenda despite making peace with the Kree. It turns out their evil ruler, named Emperor Dekent Neramari, wants to use a powerful crystal known as the M'Kraan Crystal to rule the universe. Basically, sort of like a replacement to the Negabomb, I guess. Now, in the post-credit scene, Quasar visits Sandar to check in on Nova as the latter tells him that the Watcher wants to form a new cosmic team in order to protect the universe. Basically like a successor team to Infinity Watch. Now, in the third credit scene, on Earth, Damage Control are monitoring Kamala's activities, and as it is revealed that they are well aware of the mutant's existence, and it is revealed that the director Boulevard Trask wants to use leftover Stark technology to form a large army of powerful robots known as Sentinels. So Prince Yan, the Supreme Intelligence, Marvel Boy, Papton, Tyrone the scientist, Bronchar, Atlas, and Dr. Midas all die in this film. Now, anyway, guys, the final project in Phase 7 is titled The X-Men. So, by the way, guys, this is the longest movie yet in TMCU, and so it starts off in 1944 in Poland. A young boy named Max Eisenhart, who would eventually become Magneto, is separated from his parents at Auschwitz, which unleashes his powers as he's tortured but ends up getting liberated by the Allied forces. In the present day, the X-Men team consists of Professor X, Cyclops, Jean Grey, Storm, Rogue, Beast, Magneto, Angel, Iceman, Havoc, Banshee, and Darwin, as they are threatened by the proposal of the Mutant Registration Act, which forces all mutants to give all their info to the government so that they can monitor them after they are since they are seen as very dangerous, and people are terrified of them as they fight for a world that hates them so much and are not as embraced as other enhanced individuals like the Inhumans, Avengers, Fantastic Four, etc. It is proposed by Senator Robert Kelly, who hates mutants and wants to run for president against Graydon Creed, who is the leader of the Friends of Humanity, an anti-mutant group. Now, meanwhile, X-Men ally Dr. Moira McTaggart, who is a nurse, is being held hostage by her evil son Kevin McTaggart, aka Proteus, who was abused by his father, which led to his death on Muir Island in Scotland. As the team there, the Muir Island X-Men are captured as well, which forces the X-Men to go there and rescue them after Destiny is killed, as Rogan Forge killed Proteus and rescue Moira and the Muir Island team. This event ultimately exposed the mutants to the world, which was extremely shocking to everyone, as mutants were once very popular during the Cold War, although the Cuban Missile Crisis changed everything. So yeah, basically, Magneto accidentally killed hundreds of US soldiers, and now that the blip has happened, due to cosmic radiation, people are manifesting their powers, and yeah, so the blip is manifesting mutations, and due to cosmic radiation. Now, basically, of course, there are new recruits to the team. However, the Cyclops and Jean Grey are kidnapped by the Marauders, a team led by Nathaniel Essex, aka Mr. Sinister, and taken to Krakoa, which is ruled by Mr. Sinister, who is the main villain, alongside the High Evolutionary. They want to work together to create the perfect new men-mutant race, as explained in the Inhumans evolution post-credit scene. And of course, it is revealed that the real Jean Grey is being held hostage for the past few months and was replaced by her clone, Madeline Pryor, aka the Goblin Queen, And yeah, the High Evolutionary believes Cable and Mr. Sinister. They believe Cable to be the key in the next step of mutant evolution and to extinct humans once and for all. Now, Darwin, and who's also being held hostage, gets killed by the High Evolutionary, and of course, Mr. Sinister uses clones of himself in order to help him with achieving his goals and defeating his enemies. So yeah, John Wraith and Kayla Silverfox visit Wolverine at the X Mansion in Westchester, and of course, Mr. Sinister and the High Evolutionary. They had announced their plans on the news and to the entire world, as well as they warned all of them of Mr. Sinister and his intentions, along with the kidnappings of Jean Grey, who Madeline Pryor, of course, Cyclops and Darwin, which leaves all of them shocked in Washington, D.C., and of course, which leaves all of them shocked, excuse me. So in Washington, D.C., President James Rhodes has made peace with Russia, and Senator Robert Kelly, both of them formed the Commission on Superhuman Activities, and of course, they are well aware and concerned of everything that's been happening with mutants, as FBI agent Frederick Duncan, who's also with the Commission on Superhuman Activities, was killed by Azazel, who's the new leader of the Hellfire Club. So Mr. Sinister explains his backstory of how he was inspired by Charles Darwin to turn himself into a mutant, which means he can now live until age 200. So the High Evolutionary explains the mutants have been here since the beginning, as they were created by the Celestials for experiments and due to the Eternal's presence on Earth, and he also came to Earth after Counter-Earth was destroyed by the Celestials. The High Evolutionary was born on Earth, obviously. However, Cyclops and Jean try to escape with Cable, although the Goblin Queen Marauders, both of them chase after them, until Wolverine, John Wraith, and Kayla Silverfox arrive as they help fight Mr. Sinister and his forces, along with help from the Scarlet Witch and Quicksilver, as the High Evolutionary and the Sinister clones are killed by Scarlet Witch and Jean Grey with help from her allies. As all this chaos has happened, the rest of the X-Men and their allies attack Senator Kelly, the Friends of Humanity, and many other corrupt government officials as Beast kills President James Rhodes. In the end, the bad guys are defeated, although not all of them are killed, with the Goblin Queen making a big sacrifice to defeat Mr. Sinister by making him human again. This leaves him powerless as Cable is taken to the future for safety, and the X-Men celebrate their victory as they are now reunited. Professor X returns the Terrigenesis to Black Bolt, and Magneto establishes the nation of Genosha in the end as a safe place for all mutants after betraying the X-Men. Now, anyway, guys, this is the full cast for the film. So yeah, I'll give you guys some time to read it. I believe that is all said and done. So this is the pre-credit scene, which focuses on Cable and Lucas Bishop meet in strife. The second credit scene focuses on Mr. Sinister heading to Egypt. In the mid-credit scene, Graydon Creed runs up for president against Senator Kelly after President Rhodes' death, since, of course, Senator Kelly has respect and sympathy towards mutants now. The post-credit scene introduces Magneto's daughter, Lorna Dane, aka Polaris. And the final post-credit scene sees Wolverine heads to Japan. He's greeted by Ichiro Yoshida. Alright, this is the full death list for the film. And that is it for Phase 7 of TMCU. Also, guys, I hope you enjoyed, and Phase 8 comes out July 13th. So yeah, peace.